Hey, what's up, y'all? I am Kiara Iman, and you are on episode 2 of Embrace Your Singleness, and I have the amazing
Trey Heflin.
I have Trey with me in the building today, and I'm so excited to have you here, and I think that it's going to be so much fun, and it's going to be real interesting. We already have like 30,000 bloopers, so why not take a look?
Ma.
Hey, y'all. We're on episode of that. We're good. We're Gucci. Anyway, so today we're going to dive in deep like we always do, and we're going to continue with the topic of just really learning how to embrace your singleness. But a lot of times we don't know how to embrace our singleness because we don't know where like these roots come from of why am I discontent in this season? Why don't I like this about this? That made no sense. Why I don't like this about this, but anywho. So I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
Pretend like I didn't ask you this already.
Got it.
So, how has your upbringing impacted your singleness?
My upbringing has impacted my singleness. It's a long story, but I'm gonna condense it. Yep, I'm good at that part. But I didn't grow up with my biological father in my life, so that definitely affected how I viewed or how I interacted or how I did relationships. Seeing my mom, my mom has her own story and whatnot, so seeing her story, it definitely impacted it. But I've seen maybe 3 successful marriages, depending on how you view what success is. But I've seen 3 successful marriages just in my life period. It's my 3 sets of grandparents. So it's definite, but I didn't start focusing on that until like this year alone when I actually decided to take this whole singleness thing like for real and actually developing myself because at some point I actually want to do that, that next space or whatnot. So.
Yeah, so that's really interesting that some people are in singleness not by choice,
Yeah.
And they're like, well, I guess that I'm here and I need to embrace it, but you made it by choice. So how has that been for you? And what made you choose to walk in this season?
Ooh, mighty God. What made me, the choice has been great. As far as like being holistically in a relationship, that was back in January, like holistically, or whatnot. I've had, the whole, what they call it, entanglements, situationships.
I was about to say, what is this?
Yeah, I was trying to figure out the word, but it wasn't
He
coming.
found it, entanglement.
The entanglement or the situationship and whatnot that just was not beneficial or whatever because of my lack of awareness of making the decision before. And so with that, it's just kind of like me finally making that decision, like, no, like you need to take this time with God. You need to take this time with yourself and not doing it for the sake of trying to be with another, but doing it for the sake of, dude, who are you? Like, what do you love? What do you not love? What do you like? What do you dislike? What does your mind think when you are awake at night? You know what I mean? Is it because of, now it's not because of the relational thing, because sometimes we can stay up late at night because it's relational pressure, but now it's like when you're awake, you actually have to deal with like, hey, what's in your heart and what's on your mind. And so what influenced me to make that choice was just in and of itself, man, just a lot of things just kind of like transpired over the years or whatnot, but I was that guy, like I was afraid to be alone. So with me being afraid to be alone, literally since 2014, I had not been by myself, period. And so for 6 years straight, I've been in 3 relationships holistically, but I've always had something going on with another and whatnot. And so with that, it put me in a position to where I was just like, yo, like I told God, I was like, listen, I don't want to do this anymore. Like this is, at this point, because nothing is working, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And it was just, it was damaging me. And then at the same time, I was damaging others in the process.
Yeah.
And so it's just kind of like, yo, like at what point do you stop to do something different? They say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing, expecting a different result.
Yeah.
And it's just like, literally, I wasn't like mental asylum insane, but I was literally doing insane things in regards to the relationship context. And so I made that choice because I was just like, yo, like I can't keep doing this anymore. I don't want to keep doing this anymore, and I want to be better for the sake of myself. And then if all of the other beautiful aspects of what we call relationship and marriage come into play or whatnot, then I know that I'll be better for that specific individual. I know how to lead myself before I can ever lead a woman. That's
Come on.
that's the whole thing. So,
Come on. Like, that is so good, and I think that's really nice to hear, like, for both men and women to see also someone that is actively walking in it and just embracing the state and knowing that, hey, I'm not just doing this so it sounds like something cool to do, or just say, like, ooh, I'm single, what's up, y'all, and then I'm just not go with that thought. But anyway, actually really committing your singleness to God and using it to work on yourself. So what are some practical things that you have done to work on yourself in this time and then be able to, like you said, discover who I am in the midnight hours and how do I face myself? What does that look like?
That looks like prayer. That looks like therapy. Thank God.
Yeah.
You know, I definitely recommend anybody to go to therapy 100%. Like, Jesus and therapy are great things.
Jesus.
Great things. Jesus and therapy, man. You know what I mean? It definitely helps with your mental state, helps you discover things about yourself, things about your past, helps you identify things that you knew were there but you had no language for.
Yeah.
So definitely, man, therapy has been a practical thing for me. Prayer. I have accountability. Now, accountability for everybody else looks different. I was that guy that had more women accountability than I had male accountability, and that wasn't always good for me. So now I actually have more brothers than I actually do who I call sisters or friends who are girls or whatnot, because of the simple fact that I need that male perspective.
Yeah.
I need that male, like, hey, bro, you tripping. You know what I mean? Hey, bro, you need to get yourself together. So I have accountability around me, people to make sure that I'm not losing focus. And if I do lose focus or whatnot, that they're actually able to help me get back on track. Like, so for me, it's just like, those are definitely my practical things, and having honest kind of conversation.
That's real.
Having honest
with
conversation.
Others and self?
With others and self.
Okay.
With others and self.
What do you mean by that?
So I probably had to have the honest conversation, like, more, and it's actually a lot freeing than just like going through the motions and pretending, or whatnot, or leading someone on in something or whatever. So it's just like, I've had the conversation or whatever. Obviously, I'm a dude, so I'm attracted to people. That's just a common thing. You know, I believe it's a God-given thing, but I also realize that attraction does not mean connection. I don't have to connect with you or engage in something just because I'm attracted to you, who you are, like all that kind of stuff or whatnot. And so with that, the honest conversation with myself is, Trey, you're not ready for this. Trey, don't do it.
Yeah.
Trey, get away. Trey, run. Like those different
Take
things.
off.
Like, so those are my honest conversations that I have with myself. And so the
Yeah.
conversations that I'm able to have with people is, hey, listen, you're great. You're an amazing person. However, the space that I'm in is not going to be beneficial for you right now. It's only beneficial for me. But it's beneficial for you because, you know, not in that context, but in this context that I'm in, it's going to be beneficial for you because it's like I'm not putting you in a position to where you have all of these expectations about something and they won't come into fruition or manifestation, like that kind of stuff or whatnot. So those are the honest conversations of letting people know where I am. So that you know, because it's easy for people's expectations to be built up very, very quickly.
Yeah.
It's easy for people to get disappointed. It's easy for people to, you know, just be let down like very, very quickly because of the lack of conversation and honest conversation that needs to be had. And so when we do that, or when I've done that, it's actually saved the friendship aspect of the people that you know, that I actually have been attracted to or whatnot, and we've actually been like the best of friends now. So it's just like, it lets me know, like, all right, cool. Yeah, I was attracted to you, but I actually see the purpose is just solely friendship.
Yeah.
It changes the dynamic when you're able to have the conversation and know when you're ready or when you need to do something or when you don't need to do something. So.
Yeah, that's so good. You said so much
I did.
good stuff. No, like, good. It was so needed because now I have like 50,000 questions that I want to ask, and you have to answer all 50,000.
Okay. All right.
That was supposed to be a microphone.
Got it.
Well, anyway, I think what you said boils down to maturity, and I think it takes a lot of maturity, and it takes humility, especially to just communicate that, you know, this is not the right timing.
Yeah.
But when you were talking about like the pressure, I have heard before, because I have brothers and actual blood brothers, and then, you know, brothers in life or whatever, and them talking about how much pressure they feel to be in a relationship once they talk with someone. Yeah. And then as a female, if you're not mature, keyword mature, if a guy tells you like y'all been hanging out or something, or there's like seems like there's interest or something, then all of a sudden they're like, hey, this ain't gonna work. Like, yeah. They can feel hit or like some type of way. So I just think that's really important to think about as someone who's listening. Is at the end of the day, God opens and closes doors. Definitely. And it's just going back to the fact that God is sovereign. And I love that what you said of just making sure that you don't feel the need to ruin a friendship or a relationship for the purpose that it's supposed to have. Yeah. I've noticed before in me that quite a few circumstances of like friendships with guys, when boundaries are crossed, because boundaries are always crossed at like physical or whatever, every time it would be like, we can't hang out anymore. Now things have to be awkward and they're weird. And oh wait, you told me you don't want to be in a relationship with me. Now this looks like a situationship. Yeah. I'm so good to be in a situationship. Like it goes all of these ways. But then I have been going like through deep healing with God, and the Lord was just like showing me, hey, a lot of those people were assignments. And now, because you're more in your feelings, you miss the fact that you were supposed to be in their life. You were supposed to be in their life praying for them. You're supposed to be in their life checking in on them. Yeah. Not just like, you know, well, whatever, bye boo, on to the next. But sometimes we on to the next and we miss the purpose of now. So I absolutely love what you said. But can you talk more about the pressure that comes for a man? I think especially a lot more women need to, I dropped the blanket. A lot more women need to hear that, you know, to have understanding.
Definitely. I think when it comes to a man, because of it's literally like an innate nature that we have to want to have companionship with people. It's a part of our DNA. We want to be close to people, and it's not a bad thing that you want to be close. It's just like you said, the maturity of knowing how close to get, how close to be, or whatnot, and which is, you know, why, you know, boundaries and parameters are definitely holistically key when you're building anything, and whatnot. And so I think when it comes down to like the pressure of a man, sometimes because this is one thing that I've realized: a man knows when he is unsure, and a man knows when he's decided. At first, I thought it was a myth, but it's not a myth. It's actually holistic truth or whatnot. Now, it may take some time for them to know when they're decided, but there's something in them that rings decided. Sometimes that decision, that delay of decision, could mean fear. That delay of decision could mean, hey, this didn't work out, and I'm too afraid to go too far, or whatnot, like that kind of thing, or whatnot, or like upbringing, traumatic experiences, whatever happened that could actually provoke that. Or they may just be in a season where, although I know I'm decided, I still don't know who I am, and my lack of identity prevents me from actually going after the thing that I should want. Or if I go after it, then I damage it because I don't know who I am. Dang, so it's like it's a whole lot that kind of like ties into it. So the pressure that sometimes I know that the pressure that I have felt, even sometimes just having conversation with people or whatnot, be like I know how to have conversation or whatnot. Like I know how to like engage. I know how to do those things or whatnot. But the immediate response for some, not all, but for some, is like, oh, okay, well, because you're giving me all of this energy, then that must mean that we we got to be in this thing. And
Who's some? What do you mean?
Some women.
Oh, okay.
Some women, yeah, some women. On when you talk about the pressure, some men, and they just simply may just be, they're just being themselves or whatnot, and then some women can take that as, well, because you're giving me all of this energy, then maybe we need to take it further or be this thing. And some men is just kind of like, no, that may not have been the thing that I was going for initially. Now, I'm not saying this is for all. This is some. Put emphasis on some, guys.
Don't come for him.
Some.
In the comments, it's like, well, he said.
Yeah, some people or whatnot. And so with that, it's just kind of like us understanding, us as men understanding, like, yo, like there are some things that we simply aren't ready for. The difficulty is because it is our innate nature to want to please woman or to please a woman or to see a woman satisfied or whatnot. We kind of lean into the pressure a little bit, and it's like,
so is that why like most guys kind of like start off giving some of themselves and all of a sudden they ghost you, or like I mean, how do you tell the difference between someone like,
it is,
you know, being a player or them versus someone who's really like going through identity finding?
Now, you know what? You got to have the Holy Spirit for that one, because
okay,
I could give you a rundown of the possibilities of what this thing could be, but everybody's different.
That's true.
And other
Good
people,
answer.
and then other guys, you know, they could just be really good at, you know, playing the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They know the things to say. They know how to pray the broken down. You know, they know how to be the damsel in distress. Like, they know how to do it.
Boy who cried.
You know, like I know guys who know how to do it, and then there are other guys who are actually dealing with it, but they may come off as the ones that's like rah rah rah. You know what I mean? So it's like it really is a coin toss, because I've been on both sides of the coin.
Being both people.
Like, I've been both of those guys, quite literally. You know, so it's so honestly, man, like it varies. It so varies. It so varies.
Yeah, that's good. Good answer, but ask the Holy Spirit, baby. So that means
ask him.
Make sure that you're developing a relationship with God.
Yeah.
And that is the part about embracing your singleness. Dude, you have so much, you literally have no excuse to say, I don't have time to spend with God.
Definitely.
You don't. There's none at all. Like, not even, just none. Just no. And that's no shame, though. I'm not shaming anybody. But know that if you're single, God is really using this time to draw you closer to Him, and make sure that you are just giving Him your all. So so you said that you were in multiple relationship situations, multiple circumstances.
Call it like it is. Go ahead, call it out. I don't make my peace with it. Go for it.
He was in multiple circumstances, and how has that changed mentally for you? Like, what's your headspace if you can compare it from then to now?
Ooh, Jesus. My headspace then, because literally like so to understand, like, just the full context, it's like, so I don't do short relationship things. Like, I don't do short relationships. Like, if I'm in exclusivity, like being in a relationship, like we posting about this thing, like, so. Oh,
that went completely over my head. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I was like,
so,
what?
I don't do short relationships or whatnot. So, so with that,
so many jokes.
I know, hush. Yeah, and so with that, it's just like, because in my mind, I always did it with the intention to like marry. Like, it's so, if it didn't work out, my heart would literally be devastated by it.
Okay.
So because of the devastation of a thing, I have to find something. I didn't find the right things, but I had to find something to cope, to ease the pain of something not working out. And I believe grieving something that does not work out is very healthy. You just need to make sure you grieve the right way.
Yeah.
Or whatnot. And so, like, so being in those spaces or whatnot, I always did it, again, because I had the fear of being alone, but because I would choose people that I know that I wouldn't be committed to holistically. Like, in my mind, I knew that, no, didn't want to marry you. I just need you as a filler for me.
And that's a part of coping. And
That-
you're talking about situationships.
Yep, situationships,
Your mind during those
entanglements.
times.
My
Okay.
mind during those times where I just need something to ease my pain from the last thing.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So then, does that make you like grieve, or not? Does that like now? But did it make you grieve more over it because you never dealt with?
Well, there's a thing, where there's a difference between healing and hardening.
Okay, break it down for us,
you know
Pastor.
So I had a conversation with one of my brothers, and it was a conversation about, an event that happened in my life. And he said, Trey, like, I don't believe you were healed from it. I believe you just hardened over it.
Dang.
And I was like, what are you talking about, bro? I don't pray about this thing. We good. He was like, no. He was like, you allowed yourself to become numb to it. You didn't heal from it, because when you heal from things, people think that when you heal from it, you don't feel the pain of it. Like, that's what grief is.
Yeah.
Like, you're grieving through the loss of a thing. And when you're grieving through the loss of a thing, then at some point you actually recover. But it's a whole process of it. But when you become numb to it, you're doing everything to escape it. You're not trying to deal with it. You're trying to escape it. And so that's what I would do. I would be trying to escape the pain.
Dang.
Leave the pain.
Yeah.
Get away from the pain. And, people do it with drugs. People do it with alcohol, all those different things for like a temporary satisfaction of, at least I can get away from them for a moment.
Yeah.
And then over time, the more consistent I became in doing it, it became easier for me to not necessarily forget about what didn't work out, but as far as like my emotions or whatever, I would become more angry than I would be more sad. So anger was the base foundation of me becoming numb to it. Like, oh man, I don't care. For what? Like, what?
Yeah.
But deep down inside, I'm just like, no, this is actually breaking me up. You know what I'm saying?
Dang.
It's a lot.
You said I'm deep, but that was deep. That was some good processing. That was a good combo. Wow.
Yeah.
So then now, are you healing through all that stuff? Do you feel like you're healed?
So one thing that I say, and I just kind of like hold fast to, is that I do not believe healing, deliverance, freedom, liberation is ever a destination. You don't, it's not an arrival. You don't arrive to a thing. You have milestones, but it's never arrival to a thing, depending on where you're trying to go in whatever season you're in your life or whatnot. So as far as like healed with like a period or exclamation point, absolutely not. I think it'll be something that I am continuously processing through and having to have tunnel vision and being consistent on the prize, which is Jesus, who is the keeper of my heart, keeper of my soul, and whatnot. And so with doing that, it definitely helps me navigate a lot better than I have done in the past. And I believe that everybody has a dark side. So I believe it. Don't sit here and act like it's not that you don't have the tendency to still do it. Like the tendency to want to do it, because like it's this crap.
Flesh.
It's not crap, but yeah.
Flesh.
Our flesh, you know what I mean? Like having the tendency to want to war against whatever the Holy Spirit wants us to actually do and the direction the Holy Spirit actually wants us to go or whatnot. So we all have the tendency to do it. I still have but my decision is to be rooted and to be led by the Holy Spirit of what I'm supposed to do versus rather than what I would feel like I need to do or want to do and whatnot. So healed from it, no. Healing every day, of course, like 100%. And a part of the healing shows up in my critical decisions, the honest conversations, what I'm like, where I'm willing to go, who I'm willing to talk to, like all those different, like the healing manifests in when you look back on what you did and then what you're now willing to do.
Yeah, that's so good. Well, thank you so much. You said so much good stuff. It's good stuff that you said. And I think that it's going to really help someone. And I pray that whoever's watching this, that you would take everything that we said. First of all, take it through prayer and to prayer. Definitely. Because someone can talk about how their process has worked for them and we use them as examples, not really to try to like follow T by T.
Yeah.
It's not a formula. Healing's not a formula. Embracing your singleness, it's not a formula, whatever. But you can just appreciate how it looks on somebody else and figure out how it can not look at me. So thank you so much again. And make sure you guys follow Trey and support his life.
She's amazing, guys. She's amazing.
He's amazing.
She's amazing-er.
Okay.
Can't beat it.
I'll take that. I'm sorry. Okay, bye y'all. Bye.